That's right, Madison. Unfortunately, tonight, San Joaquin County is reporting 9 more deaths, and that brings their total to 107. And it becomes the first in our area to pass 100 deaths. So here's a graph of their hospitalizations and ICU admissions, both of which continue to rise. Right now, 221 people are hospitalized and 66 are in the ICUs. Both of those are getting close to capacity in the county. And it's a similar story in Stanislaus County, where the numbers continue to go up. Today, they're reporting 113 people in the hospital and 35 in the ICU. And those might not sound as high as San Joaquin's, but the state is reporting that they're already over capacity. But we want to draw your attention tonight to the issue of children being affected. And many assume incorrectly that it almost never happens. But these numbers here show how clearly it actually does happen. In San Joaquin County, children make up 27% of the population, but represent 9% of COVID-19 cases. And here in Stanislaus, they also represent a similar portion of the population, but are actually 14% of all infections. So clearly they are being affected. And this is a fact that Valley Children's Hospital in Central Valley is trying to make people aware of. So take a listen.
Much of the narrative that is taking place, both in our valley, in our state, related to children and the risk to children of COVID-19, foundationally, we object to.
Todd Sunderpack is the CEO of Valley Children's Healthcare in Madera. He pointed to both national and local data to support the hospital's objections.
We know that in California, 8.7% of those 413,576 cases were children. The case growth data on this regional slide in the central part of the state, and I'm rounding here by a couple tenths of a point, about 12%.
Dr. David Christensen, the chief physician executive for the hospital, said there are 2 major myths out there.
We can look at data throughout the country and we can see kids being admitted in pretty much all the states for COVID-19. Myth number 2 is that kids can't spread COVID-19, and that just goes against logic.
He said this opinion is supported by a recent study out of South Korea, which examined nearly 6,000 kids with COVID. They found that children 0 through 9 transmitted the virus at a rate of 5.3%. Children 10 to 19 years old spread COVID 18.6% of the time. He said for these reasons, they do not recommend kids go back to school until the curve can be flattened.
Of course, we're in the middle of a very serious pandemic here, so we felt very strongly that this was not the right time to send kids back to school with a large pandemic not showing any improvement right outside our door right now. We just thought it was the wrong time.